Finding love is tough at any age. It's especially tough if you're a Chinese woman over 30.
So I became single when I was 31, and I started aggressive dating.
Aggressive dating? How?
I started sourcing. I sourced from all these online dating websites, Match, OkCupid, Speed Date, eHarmony also. I was hunting for a potential husband.
But as time went on, her parents back in China were getting anxious.
You don't have a boyfriend anymore, and you're not in no time getting married, and you're already 33.
That is Jinghua Xiao from Xi'an, China. She calls herself Q.
I promised my parents, give me 3 years, don't give me pressure, I will find someone. If I don't, I'll marry the next person I meet on the street.
Q would eventually meet her match on Two Red Beans, the largest dating website for Chinese overseas, with 750,000 members worldwide. Who's the founder? None other than Q herself. I'm Mabel Chan, and this is One in a Billion, a podcast about China through the voices of Chinese millennials in America. In America, the average age for marriage is 28. In China, 25. When Q broke up with her boyfriend at 30, going on 31, she felt that she was in a race against the odds.
I went online to search for how many years on average for someone to find their life partner.
Right.
And there's stats online says in the US, the average time for a woman who is above age 30 to find a life partner is 5 years. When I saw this, I was in despair. I felt, oh, wow, this is so long. And this is only the average. What if I'm not at the average?
Q has never been average. As a little girl, she became fascinated with what makes TV tick in the house and what to do when it breaks. Her father was her role model.
There are always people coming to my house asking my dad to fix stuff for them. For example, their watches and their TV, just all sorts of things. So I think the reason I picked electrical engineer as my graduate and undergrad study is because of that. So I thought that was so cool that you can actually fix TVs and like make a TV from scratch.
Her parents also helped her develop a can-do attitude.
Basically, I always felt like whatever things you want to do, as long as you want to do it, you try to figure out how it's done and you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, you can fix anything that breaks in your house. And if something is not working, or like in a small way, which is things around you,
mm-hmm.
and in a bigger way would be like solving a big technology problem or a society problem. If you really put your minds into it, there will be some solution.
Already keen on problem solving by age 14, Q scored number 1 in a special test for gifted children in China to get into university without the infamous Gaokao. That's the college entrance exam. At age 21, she graduated from Jiao Tong University with an engineering degree and set her sights on America.
I always wanted to get a higher education in the US just to see what it is about. Because everybody says that US has the best grad schools.
During her 5 years at UC San Diego working on her PhD thesis about mobile communications, she began to experience doubt and fear.
You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know whether you will have any result for the research because it's research. And there were times that I started to doubt whether I'm a good researcher. So I wanted to know whether this is a good thing for me. Should I just quit PhD and just get a master and leave?
Q stuck it out after getting advice from her professors and other researchers. As her confidence grew, her career began to blossom. 4 years after getting her PhD, she already got her dream job as a scientist in Silicon Valley.
I felt like, did I achieve my dream already? I've been working toward this my whole life, and now I have to find something else to do. Yeah, it's very anticlimactic.
But Q needed to focus on something much more important to her at the time, her love life. She was trying desperately to fix a serious but shaky relationship. And there's something else, her visa status. She was also working on getting her green card through the EB-1 visa for people with extraordinary talent. She got her green card, but the 6-year relationship with her boyfriend since she was 24 years old was over. Q didn't want to talk about it. Back home, her parents were worried about her marriage prospects. In China, parents put a tremendous amount of pressure on their children to get married and have kids while still in their 20s. Chinese culture values filial piety and passing on the family name and genes. But again, her parents have taught her how to fix things for herself in any corner of her life. At 31, she kicked into crisis mode.
I started to date, like every week I would meet 3 people at least, and sometimes more.
Tell me your strategy.
Okay, my strategy is I believe probability. I believe that if you meet like one person that fits your criteria every week in a year, you should probably find your life partner.
Oh.
So I believe this. I believe in this. So I started sourcing. I sourced from any channel I can find. So all these online dating websites.
For example?
Match, OkCupid, Speed Date. Oh, eHarmony also.
Okay.
So all these dating sites have my profile. And I was active on these sites. I also go to events. I also organize events.
Mm-hmm.
I go hiking all the time. And I go dancing twice a week in the evenings.
So you were seriously hunting for a date, or were you hunting for a potential husband? What was your mindset?
I was hunting for a potential husband. And I promised my parents that give me 3 years, don't give me pressure, and I will find someone. If I don't, I'll marry the next person I meet on the street. So they stopped bothering me. Mm-hmm. And after 3 years, I'm still single, and I don't want to marry the next person I meet on the street. And I don't want to settle.
That's it. Q won't settle. Remember, she was meeting and dating every week, but she also had a long list of must-have and can't stand. Here are a few that caught my eye. Q's potential matches must not want wife to stay at home, watch too much TV, have cheated on women, and this potential husband must want kids. But even after adding up all her deal breakers, Q's crisis mode suddenly hit a crisis.
I went through the whole cycle of I was very hopeful, and then I felt like, oh, there's no hope. And then I felt, oh, I'm such a great person. How come there's nobody for me? It's like there is nobody for me in this world.
Personally, I could relate to that. I had dated for years in New York, Boston, and in Hong Kong before I met the one 3 years ago when I got married. I learned a lot about myself, my values, my priorities. I had always put career first, everything else later. In our next episode, we'll continue our conversation with the Two Red Beans founder. She'll tell you how she launched a dating website while husband hunting, why she quit her dream job in Silicon Valley, how did she even begin as an entrepreneur.
So I know this is a problem for me because I have been dating for 3 years and with no success. I didn't know how big this problem is. So once I started to do research, I realized, wow, this is a really big problem. I see I'm the perfect person to start and run a Chinese dating site.
But we also want to include you in this conversation. What are your questions about dating in America? Is online dating for you? How do you find the one? What are your dating experiences with Chinese or as Chinese in America? Here's Angie from Utica, New York.
Why do you think it is important that minorities have a website devoted to their identity rather than simply filtering the relevant characteristics on online dating giants like Match.com or OkCupid?
To send us your questions and stories, just go to our website at chinapersonified.com under Pitch a Story, or email me your audio story, maximum 5 minutes, to info@chinapersonified.com before our deadline next Tuesday, September 13th. I may contact you for an interview or include your voice in our next episode the following Tuesday on September 20th. I'd love to hear from you. I'm Mabel Chan. 1 in a billion is listening to China, one person at a time.